Hey Earth Signs, it's your girl Beldon Krishana here with your Mercury Retrograde reading. I thought these would be fairly important considering that we are in Mercury Retrograde. We just ended our little stint we had in Venus Retrograde. So, hopefully things are a lot more clear in the Nerve department. I am using the Tarot for the Time Being deck. And so, yeah, I'm shuffling at the current moment. So Mercury retrograde. The typical thing is that you don't travel during Mercury retrograde, and that you don't sign contracts in Mercury retrograde. And generally, your whole life is to stop so you can reassess what's going on. So business contracts and traveling, miscommunications can happen during this time. So make sure you check your emails and make sure that they have gone through. They haven't gone to the junk mail. If you are getting some sort of uh, delay, like massive delay on your things that you've been sending out, then maybe you might want to call people and kind of chime in, check in, but also know that everybody else is going through exactly the same thing. Anyway, so this reading is basically to see what is this Mercury retrograde either supposed to teach you, or what kind of sort of to expect during this period of time. This is also to sort of help navigate the waters that are the Mercury retrograde period. Know that beginning of the year is supposed to be actually really good, because for the first 6 months we have a lot of great planetary influences, but right now, before those planetary influences are going to do their thing, we have to deal with clearing out some of the muck and mire of the last year. So, interesting. So, these cards are not things that I usually are not usually read upside down. In fact, most of the time when I shuffle specifically for them to be upright. There are quite a few cards, though, that you guys got. Actually, to be honest, um, I would say 7 out of 8 cards are actually in reverse. So this is quite interesting. We're gonna go through. We're gonna go with it this time. We're just gonna go with it. So there was a lot of energy, the Tranquility card in reverse. So there's a lot of energy that's been stirred up. You guys have probably been really, really busy. Kind of there's no rest for the wicked type of situation, where you guys haven't really felt like you have had as enough time to sort of recoup. And you really haven't, as sort of planetary wise, what's been going on in you guys' personal lives. I think I am actually uploading the I Mercury retrograde. I uploaded um the Virgo mid-month reading, and that apparently didn't go through, and I just kind of went through all my videos today to make sure everything was correct, and that didn't upload because I had some technology issues. So anyway, you guys have definitely been in a state where you guys have been really trying to manifest and really trying to work with your next phase of what you guys are building, kind of tilling soil and things like that. You know, um, you guys are in a sort of King of Songs in reverse, so you guys are sort of in training mode right now. This is not where you guys are used to being. You guys are used to being in a place where you're sort of the master ceremonies, where you guys know what's up, where you guys, have all the, you guys have the instruction booklet. You guys wrote the instruction booklet. Everybody's sort of basing it off of your example, and you guys are kind of in a place which is very rare for you, where perhaps you're just not used to this level. You're not used to this promotion. You're not used to this position, if you will. For some of you, it could be in terms of a relationship. You guys are sort of used to being the people who sort of set the rules and set the boundaries and set the sort of tone for the relationship, and maybe you're actually on the opposite end where other people are setting it for you. If it comes in terms of, a job situation or whatever, you guys are typically in the point of being like the head honcho of where you guys are, or at least knowing more than most people at your current job. And now perhaps you've taken another position where you don't necessarily know the lines yet. You don't really know all the rules. You don't really know all of the ins and outs. You don't know the sort of playing field of which you guys are currently in. If this is just kind of a personal transformation, you guys are in a place where, perhaps you guys are feeling a little bit more of other element energy. You guys are used to kind of doing things a certain way, and earth signs are definitely really good at this. You guys are definitely really good at doing things a certain way and having things done a certain way, and now you need to be reliant on other people's ways of doing things, and that's a very uncomfortable place for you guys to be, and that brings you guys a little off balance. you know this guy that brings you guys a little off balance. Maybe even, I said little fire energy, but maybe you guys are dealing with having a lot more air energy in your life right now. That sort of sense of uncertainty, that sort of sense of really not knowing where to look, because maybe on some level you guys are not great at trusting other people's versions of the truth. So and all that brings you guys to a point where you guys might actually internally feel a little chaotic. You guys might actually end up pushing things away that might actually be really good for you. You guys actually might be in a place during this Mercury retrograde period where, the frustration kind of reaches an apex, reaches its highest point, and you guys just kind of like, okay, well, fuck all of this, because this isn't, sorry, screw all of this, family friendly, screw all of this, because I'm not in a place where, where I need to be listening to how other people are doing things. Now that would actually be a little bit of a, that would be unwise. It'd be unwise for you not to stay humble, in regards to what other people are trying to teach you. You guys are used to being the teachers, not the students. So and we have the separation card that came in reverse. I don't think you guys are going anywhere, though. You guys might feel the chaos. Guys might feel the burden of being the student now. You guys have been the teacher for such a long time. This is a really hard place for you guys to be, but I don't think you guys will go anywhere. You guys will definitely, stay the course no matter how difficult it is. Um, we have the devil card in reverse. This is all to teach you how to be free. The problem with a lot of earth signs, especially, is the fact that you guys put yourselves in situations of sort of bondage, of sort of like perceived loyalty and things like that. And all of this is actually to show you another perspective, another way of which you guys can actually pursue things, and with an air of freedom. There's a difference between earth being sort of stagnant and sort of just kind of sitting there and nothing has to change, and if an earthquake happens, then if movement happens, it's an earthquake. There's a difference between being that, and another version of earth is the planting of seeds, the soil that is being richened, fertilized. That there is That's the other version of earth, that there is actually a point where there's a cycle where, the things die, and then the things that die fertilize other things for them to build and to grow. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference. You guys are in this period of time, and feel like this is specifically going to gear towards like beginning of December, you guys are going to be in a place where you guys are not in your domain right now, and that's okay. It's a cycle. That's why it's called a cycle. You know that perhaps you might be some of you guys might be going home. Well, especially with holidays coming back, where you guys might be going home, being in other people's territory, and really kind of take the lessons from being in those places, because you're not just nowhere for any for like no reason. you know and so really kind of take heed to the things that you're learning from other people. Be more of a observer than somebody who's just out doing. Be more of a listener than you are someone who's speaking, that kind of thing. Um, and then we have here in reverse the Lover card. And I think, with with a lot of these cards being upright, I feel like this has a lot to do with your subconscious thought rather than your outward movement. This would say, don't forget to have compassion for people. Don't be so uh strict on your own ideals that you forget to have compassion and forget to have empathy and forget to be the sort of lover in your own frustration of not knowing what you're doing and not knowing this particular territory, that you guys forget that there are people who support you and need your support as well. Okay. And so I feel like this is definitely going to be a little bit of an ego burst, which is fine. It's fine. It's how you grow. It's going to be a little bit of an ego burst. It's going to be a little bit of you having to be a little bit more reliant on other people than you'd necessarily like to be. And that's going to be a blessing if you allow it to be, because all of these cards will actually turn upright. You will find, you will find tranquility, and you will find balance, and you will, come back. This is the Capricorn card. You guys will come back into being yourselves. You guys will be the masters of your domain once again, and you guys will learn to be a better lover to people who need you. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. If you guys haven't watched your mid-month reading videos, those are actually up right now. And I will see you guys for the mid-month reading for December. Okay, all right, have a nice Mercury retrograde, and I hope you guys learn everything you need to learn. Okay.